Let's make some lists, starting at the top and going to the bottom, baby. The top and bottom list, with Ed and Andy. Let's make some lists, starting at the top and going to the bottom, baby. The top and bottom list, with Ed and Andy.
Food, glorious food. We're anxious to try it.
Jambalaya, crawfish pie, and a filet gumbo.
Oh yeah, 'cause I like the gumbo too. She said, I like, you talk about like, I like the gumbo too. Shrimp, okra, chicken, poultry, sometime a piece of voodoo.
Turkey and chicken roast beef, tomatoes, lettuce, provolone cheese. I cut that meat into skinny pieces. Now I gotta wipe my face 'cause it's full of gravy. Ketchup, mustard, and some mayonnaise. Fried shrimp, catfish fillets. Hand batted in a honey glaze. Put it on a French bread and call it a day. I want a fully dressed po' boy.
That's right. We're talking about food this week. Food, glorious food.
Yeah, food, New Orleans food mainly, right?
Well, I would say all New Orleans food is glorious, but no, there is some on the bottom three here.
And you chose this topic because New Orleans was just rated the top food city in the world?
Food city in the world by Time Out Magazine. It ranked gave us the top 20, and New Orleans was number 1, and there was not another one in the United States in the top 20.
That's right.
There was one from Italy. You looked at it in there.
Yeah, Naples was like number 19 or something.
Yes.
And New Orleans is always rated on some of those magazines or lists of top food places. And if it's not number 1, it's usually in the top 5.
It is. And I think it's the fusion of culture that we have here that makes it unique. I mean, you go to France, there is some other cultures there, but they eat French food. That's what you go there. You go to Italy, it's Italian food. And I mean, I've been to other countries. You've been all over the place. But people have asked me when I go to France. I've been to Italy, Germany, Switzerland, Ireland, every place I've been. And when I get back, they say, well, where's the best food? And I'm like, New Orleans. I mean, I'm spoiled. I grew up in New Orleans, and I've had all this great food. But I stand by it that, they have great food in some of those cities.
You're spoiled and also biased. Like, you like New Orleans food. You like seafood.
I like spices.
And the roux and the spices, yeah.
And the spices. You don't get the spices many other places unless you're going, eating Indian food or those type where those spices are crazy sometimes.
Yeah, I'm a pasta and red sauce person, so my top 5 could have easily have been 5 Italian places in New Orleans for like lasagna and chicken parmesan and that kind of thing. But I didn't.
But anyway, let me give some credit to that medley that we just played. So in that medley, Food, Glorious Food, that was from Ice Age. Jambalaya, that was Hank Williams, Sr. The Gumbo song, that was Jimmy C. Newman. And, of course, the last one, Po' Boy, that was DJ Red. Okay. So, I just want to give credit to those guys and so I could throw this food medley
And
all
good
together.
job putting the medley together yourself. The medley and everything you do for this with the website and editing and all. Like, you are the engineer here.
And I'll get the website up to date. I added one more, but we're about 2 podcasts behind on the website. But I'll get those up there because there's a lot of stuff here I want to throw there. Like some of those videos, the Po' Boy song by DJ Red. I want to throw that up on the website so people can check it out.
All right.
So, but it's not like we go out to eat all the time either in New Orleans. So the list that we're giving you is from our limited experience. Granted, I have more experience than a tourist would or some tourist, but I mean, we don't make a lot of money. We're not going to all the fancy restaurants all the time. So it's not like we're Gerald Grunig, our former student who's big personality now, and he's eating everywhere.
And every place.
And he could tell you where the best places are. He won't tell you worst places. I noticed that about him. He doesn't say bad things about anywhere, which is great. I mean, I'm all for that.
But we'll do our 3 overrated, not necessarily worst places or dishes today, and controversial probably again.
No, and I expect it's going to be controversial. So I'll say, though, I did not pick some of those foods that all of us do love, even foods that I do love, because it's just hard to pick a place for that. With this, we're trying to pick places, not just a food for the most part. Like, I didn't pick crawfish, boiled crawfish. I love boiled crawfish. Some of the best boiled crawfish is from Friends.
Yeah.
My friends know boiled crawfish. Like for Mardi Gras, we have boiled crawfish every Mardi Gras. My friend Lance does. Or I like Salvo's seafoods, crawfish, but there's lots of great crawfish. There's bad crawfish, but there's lots of great crawfish out there. And another one's like jambalaya. I don't really order jambalaya anywhere. I make
neither, I
jambalaya at
guess.
home. I love my jambalaya. People like my jambalaya. I smoke all my meats and stuff like that. And a lot of these dishes, they evolved from home kitchens in New Orleans. And then they become more fancy, and these restaurants start doing it other ways. And so probably the best place to get a lot of these dishes is from somebody's home kitchen, which they're not inviting you in, I would guess.
Let's start from the top.
Let's start from the top, from the top, from the top, from the top. Let's start from the top, from the top. Let's start from the top, from the top, from the top, from the top.
Well, I'm going to go first this time.
Take it away.
I don't even know if I went first last time. I don't remember who went first last time.
You go
But
first
anyway.
all the time. No, just go ahead.
No, so my number five is the crawfish sack from Patton's Catering. And what it is, it's described as a charming little beggar's purse of spicy herb crawfish mixture wrapped in crepe bundle, all tied up with a string of leek. It's my Jazz Fest food. I eat a lot at Jazz Fest, but I always get the crawfish sack. At French Quarter Fest, I just had the crawfish sack, which I'm going to put a picture up so you can all see that. But I love the crawfish sack. I always get it at Jazz Fest. I have to have it. They started selling it at Jazz Fest in 1989, so they haven't been around forever. But as soon as they started selling it at Jazz Fest, it became one of those foods that there's a long line always for it. And people, as soon as they get in the gate, some people run straight for the stages. Some people run straight for the Patton's booth. To make sure they get that crawfish. Not that they run out, because they make about 25,000 crawfish sacks for Jazz Fest, and they hand tie all of them with these little leeks, and they deep fry it. You can see more from the picture. It's hard to really describe the Patton's crawfish sack. A question that a lot of people wonder, like all that food during Jazz Fest, it's hard to find it during the year. Like, what restaurant has it? Do they, like Patton's? You can't go to Patton's and get crawfish sacks and sit down and eat it. It's a catering place. But if you do want to know, I'm giving myself a plug here. If you do want to know where you can get most of the food from Jazz Fest year round, check out my website, nolasum.com. I'll put the link on our website, and I'll probably throw the link up on the page so you can see it. I did probably about 6 or 7 years ago. I did a few stories on it where I told you where you can get almost all of the food at the restaurants, where they're located, things like that. So check out nolasum.com. That's why I went first. I wanted to plug my other website and my old podcast. So, but anyway, that's it. My Patton's.
Well, I
crawfish
want to
sack.
say, I want to ask you, like, typically when I hear about Jazz Fest, you hear about crawfish Monica.
Yes.
So you prefer, I don't know your list here.
Crawfish Monica is good too, but it's on my list, and I'll tell you where you can get Crawfish Monica year round if you go to nolasum.com.
Okay.
But no, I like Crawfish Monica, but it's not one I have to have, though. I have to have the crawfish sack. So, but anyway, so that was my number 5, crawfish sack from Patton's Catering. What about
Okay.
you? What's your number 5?
My number 5 is king cake.
Yeah, I was born and raised in New Orleans, so I got that advantage.
Yeah, because you know more about king cake than I do, or best place to go. Like, I put from anywhere. And if you want to know more about king cakes, our buddy Matt Haynes wrote the big book of king cakes.
So he definitely knows where to go get king cakes.
But even him, I've seen him in interviews, and people ask him, because they always ask him, because he's a king cake expert, what's the best place? And he told me one time, and he said in an interview, that Tartine is his favorite. So if I had to pick one, I would say Tartine, because based on Matt Haynes' recommendation, I went there and
You
bought
had
it.
it?
And it was good.
It was good?
But to me, anything filled with cream cheese or, whatever, strawberry, it's good.
Well, there are bad king cakes out there. I've had bad king cakes.
You're right.
And my favorite king cakes are the ones, it's more like I've had them forever. Like my first king cake of the year is always from Terrytown Bakery. It's this
Really?
huge, it's a big donut type king cake, and I always get that first day, and I always get it Mardi Gras morning and have it for Mardi Gras day. But between then, I'll try a bunch of different king cakes. Antoine's, they have 2 locations. I go to the one on the West Bank. They have some really good king cakes. Hell, in a pinch, I don't mind Rouse's. I'm not going to Walmart or Winn-Dixie to get king cakes. Don't get Walmart king cakes. And you can get them the day after Mardi Gras on Ash Wednesday for like 10 cents each.
And you would say this, what's the time period when you can eat king cakes?
See, that's what I said. So anybody's going to eat a Walmart king cake, they're allowed to eat it after, because they're not true New Orleanians who would do that. But no, you can't eat king cake till the Epiphany, January 6th. You can start eating king cake. That's when the 3 wise men, King's Day or whatever, came and saw Jesus. And you can eat it all the way through Mardi Gras Day. Ash Wednesday, you can't. And the rest of the year, you can't. If you're a New Orleanian and you subscribe to this like I do pretty seriously, I throw away our king cake. I tell my kids that you better eat this king cake by midnight because when they wake up the next morning, that king cake's in the trash. And I'm probably doing something to it so they won't even eat it out the trash. And actually, my kids are grown now, and they do the same thing. They won't eat the king cake. My daughter called me and said, "Hey, there's some king cake left on Ash Wednesday. There's some king cake left. Can you throw it away so I won't be tempted?" So, I mean, I got them trained good. But
That's
yes,
good.
you're not supposed to. But I do step back for a second because I used to get upset when I go someplace, a tourist restaurant like Quarter Two Sisters brunch, and they'd have the king cake out, any time of the year. And I'd say, "Oh, that is so wrong." But I think about it, no. Tourists, they come once a year. Let them have king cake. I ain't eating the king cake there for the brunch, but I get that. And so like Mardi Gras World People Tour, they get king cake. I have no problem with that. But once again, our good friend Matt Haynes, he wrote the big book of king cake. So check that out, and he'll tell you where all the king cakes are. Oh, another one I really like. My brother makes a savory boudin one. My brother Jeff, yeah, he makes a savory boudin one. He doesn't sell them. Anyway,
All right, that's my 5.
that's your 5. I had a lot to say about your 5, huh?
Yeah.
My number 4. My number 4 is the barbecue shrimp from Pascal's Manali's.
Yep.
So
Been known for that.
Yep. Some of the story with that is Frank Manali opened the restaurant. It was Manali's at the time in an old grocery store in 1913, right there on Napoleon Avenue. And the menu was first generation New Orleans Italian. So of course, you like Pascal's Manali's. And his nephew Pascal Radosta bought it. Now, a lot of people don't know. That's why it has a weird name. I'll put the name up on the screen. You see the video right now anyway. But Pascal's is possessive, apostrophe S, and then Manali's, after it. So why would it be possessive? Why it's Pascal's Manali's? When he bought the restaurant, he bought Manali's restaurant. So now it's his Manali's restaurant. So it's Pascal's Manali's restaurant. Because why get rid of the name that people knew? And now that's why it has that weird name for those of you. And I do got to give a shout out, even though he just passed away. I know a lot of this stuff because I used to listen to Tom Fitzmaurice all the time. He was a radio guy in New Orleans, and he had a unique show where all he talked about was eating. Restaurants to go to, and he'd have the chefs on. And even though I couldn't afford to go to any of those restaurants, I used to listen to it on my hour ride home every day. It's just that captivating and learned about things. So that's actually how I know that story. A little bit more about the barbecue shrimp because there's a cool story with that. In 1955, Pascal was asked about a dish one of his customers had in Chicago. His customer came and said, "I had this really cool shrimp dish." He's like, "Well, tell me about it. I'll try to make it for you." And the guy tells him all about what the dish is. So he tries to recreate the dish, and it comes out to be barbecue shrimp, which actually it's not barbecue. It's not barbecue sauce. So it's really a weird name for it. But it's nothing like that dish in Chicago, but it was good. So because it was such a good dish and nothing like the guy was asking for, it became their staple. It became one of those dishes that tons of restaurants in New Orleans do now. But the original is Pascal's Manali's. And we'll find out with some of our other dishes too, that lots of restaurants do them now, but they originated somewhere. And, and those places are still around for the most part. But anyway, that was my number 4. What you got? You got something for that?
No. That's it. I've only eaten there twice, I think, and I of course got that, and I'm like, it's all right.
I like it in a po' boy too, because they give you the bread anyway, and you're supposed to sop up all that sauce, the buttery, spicy sauce with your bread. But if you get it in a po' boy, it's all right there, the soaking bread so I really like it as a po' boy.
Yeah, yours are definitely more New Orleans historic dishes. Like my number 4 is the cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger.
It's the there's a lot of good cheeseburger places in New Orleans. Anywhere, it's not anything scientific to it. Maybe there is, but anyway. So the one I chose, the cheeseburger and loaded baked potato from Port of Call. It's a place you want to go if you're low on calories for that week. Go there, get a big cheeseburger. There's usually a big line outside. It's on Esplanade Avenue. It's a beautiful area. It's kind of like Pascal's Manali's. It's like a bunch of houses, historic buildings, and then all of a sudden there's a restaurant right there.
Yeah, right there. Dauphine, I believe.
Kind of blending in. So Port of Call was established in 1963 as a steakhouse located in beautiful historic
good steaks too.
Esplanade Avenue in the French Quarter. And the awards, every time there's a list in New Orleans, the best hamburger, this is always up there with the Zagat Survey, City Search Best Burger, Gambit Weekly. It usually wins the Best Burger award.
Yes.
And maybe, is it the best burger? I don't know. I had some other ones too that are pretty good.
It's damn good. It's a damn
But
good
it's
burger.
also known for, because you get that and you get a big baked potato, loaded potato
Sure.
next to it with everything in it. And you go there, and usually people go there stumbling from the French Quarter, and they're drunk, and they get a purple drink, whatever.
Oh, no, you get the monsoon there.
The monsoon there, yes.
Yeah, you get the monsoon. If you drink the monsoon, everything's going to taste good. That monsoon really knocked me on my butt a lot in high school.
So yeah, I don't go there. I've probably been there once in the past 10 years, but
Oh, I've been there recently. No, and the burgers are still great. I like the burgers there. And I can't say it's the best burger, but I can't say it's not. I mean, it's a really good burger. I've
I'm the
never
same way.
consciously thought about
Yeah.
what was good, what wasn't good.
I just don't want. There's nowhere to park over there. I don't
Yeah,
want
no.
to wait in line for a burger.
It's a lot of tourists there. A lot of people just going out for the day in New Orleans. That's what I mean. If I'm going out for the day and I'm hanging on that side of the French Quarter, I'll go to Port au Col.
But it is a cool New Orleans experience to go there if you're a tourist or local. Go there, get a burger, sit by the bar or by a table, and get that, and it's delicious.
Okay, so that was your number
That was
four.
my number 4.
My number 3, and my number 3 is personal, but I do believe it's the best snowball in the city. So, yes, my number 3 is not any snowball, though. It's a chocolate hot rod snowball from Hans's Snowbliz. I've been going there since I was a kid. I've been friends with the Hansons since I was a kid. My uncle been friends, and my dad have been friends with the Hansons since they were young. So our families go really far back. But even though I do have these strong feelings, and the stories I'm about to tell you about them, might get me a little choked up, it's still the best snowball. It is the best snowball in the city, and it's a little more pricey than the other snowballs, but it's worth it. And there's always a line. Always a line. It's Hanson's Snowbliz. They've been in business 85 years this year.
Wow.
Yes, it was founded by Mary and Ernst Hansen, which I knew them. They both passed away. We'll get to in a second. And it's continued by their granddaughter, Ashley Hansen, who I grew up with, a good friend of mine. So she took over the business after the grandparents both died, a little bit after Katrina. What made it the best, first of all, was the machine. So he was a machinist, and he created his own snowball machine back in 1934 while working in a machine shop. And he kept it a secret how he made it and why it's so much different than other snowball machines. But his young pregnant wife wanted to earn a little extra money, so he set her up underneath their home's mulberry tree with the snowball machine, and so they sold snowballs in front of the house that way. As of now, nobody's duplicated his device. You can go in there and see it, but they're not going to let you go tear it apart and try to redo it. I know somebody's had to make them because it can't be that old, his machines. I know we had 2 or 3 of them, but I'd have to think, that somebody's able to maintain them for them. So, but it wasn't just the snowballs themselves. They made all their syrups homemade. Usually if you go to a snowball stand, there's these companies that sell you these bottles of syrup, and that's what most places use. They make all their syrups in the back. They have a little kitchen in the back, and Ashley, to this day, if you follow them online, she'll say, oh, we got this new syrup, because she's just trying things. Their satsumas, and even their chocolates are different than other chocolate snowballs, which I really like. But let me tell you about the chocolate hot rod before I get into the rest of
Yeah, I
their
was
story.
curious. I never chocolate.
Yeah.
Is it a chocolate snowball? What is it?
Well, you can get a hot rod with any flavor, but what makes it a hot rod is they fill half the cup with snowball and they put the syrup in. This is how they make all their snowballs. This is another reason why it's better than other ones, is they'll fill the cup halfway with the snowball and then put syrup in, and then fill the rest of the way up and put more syrup in. So that way you have perfect syrup all the way through, because there's nothing I hate more than getting to the bottom and it's white ice at the bottom of it. I hate that. I didn't pay for that. But the hot rod between those 2 layers of snowball is a scoop of ice cream.
Oh.
It is so good. That chocolate hot rod, I've been having those since I was a kid, and as you see, I have a picture up right now of me as a kid and my brothers at Hanson's. And in the store, they don't have all the pictures anymore, but they had pictures. I brought my kids there. The first snowball my kids had as babies was Hanson's snowballs, and they had the pictures up on the wall. So it really is something close to my heart. Their motto is no substitute for quality, and you'll see when they make their snowballs, they don't rush. They're taking their time, even though the line's down the block, and some people get frustrated, but, it takes time. There's no shortcuts to quality. So, but Mary Hansen, the grandmother, and she died during Katrina's evacuation. And Mr. Ernest died shortly after. And this is the part where I might get choked up, is because, I lost my house in Katrina, but I work in Thibodaux. Her funeral was in Thibodaux. And my family was all over the place because of Katrina. Even my uncle and everybody was really torn up because they couldn't go to her funeral. And all I had was like jean shorts and a T-shirt. And they called me and said, Lance, we need somebody to go represent the family. And I went into the church, and there's barely anybody there. But as soon as I walked in, all the Hansons just lit up and came and gave me hugs, and they're so happy to see one of us there. Didn't matter. I went to a funeral in flip-flops and jean shorts and a T-shirt. So, but still, regardless of all that, it's a great snowball. It's probably the best, and nobody else has these awards. James Beard awarded them an American Classic in 2014. They were featured on Netflix Street Food. Food Network says of top 5 restaurants, best desserts, Hanson Snow Bliss, and they've been featured in New York Times, Southern Living. I remember seeing them on Good Morning America before. So, Hanson Snowballs, that's it. And Allison M. Authors, one of our super fans, she also likes Hanson. She also said Pandora's and Costanza Snowballs also, which I heard of Pandora's. I don't know Costanza's. But, if I pass by those, I'll try it. I eat other snowballs, so I do have a comparison. I eat lots of other snowballs. Hanson's, that snow is just so fine. It's so much better than the other ones. So,
I don't eat snowballs. So I don't know, but I drove by
but
Hanson's the other day.
you were born in Pennsylvania, so
Yep.
you had snowballs in your face all the time.
I drove by Hanson's the other day, and like you said, they had a big line outside
Yeah.
around the block, and all right, I'm not waiting that long.
And it's another one, a bunch of houses, and it's just on the corner there. So
your snowball, you like the chocolate snow thing?
the
with-
chocolate hot rod.
Does that have some sugar in it?
Oh, does it have some sugar in it? Yes.
Yeah.
If you're not diabetic, you will be, but it's worth it.
Well, that leads me to my number 3. That sugar is one of the main ingredients. It's basically fried dough with powdered sugar on top. And it's beignets, and I chose Cafe de Monde beignets. Now, and I'm not a big beignet expert. Some people say Morning Call's better. There's a beignet shop in every corner in the French Quarter. And I don't know if they're probably all similar. But Cafe de Monde, I never had bad beignets there, so.
Yeah, it's not hard to make beignets. I made them at home. So you have to, if you have a bad beignet, it's a bad restaurant. Just don't order anything else.
Exactly. But like the beignet from Cafe de Monde, so I'm sure you know the word beignet, comes from the French word beigner, meaning to raise. How's that for research?
No,
Huh?
I did not know that.
And for those of you out there who speak French, just ignore that, how I pronounce that. So in France, beignets have existed since around the 16th century. Just deep fried dough, and they have like a fruit or savory filling. So of course it arrived in New Orleans in the 18th century because a lot of French influence in New Orleans. So in 1862, Cafe de Monde opened in the French Quarter and eventually became synonymous with beignets.
Can I jump in that story for a second?
Yeah.
Yeah, because actually New Orleans was like a central hub for importing coffee, and coffee was a huge thing in New Orleans, especially in the mid-late 1800s, because importing it and all. And there were coffee shops all over the city, sort of probably like Seattle now, except we had good coffee shops. And they, it was a coffee shop, and they just needed something to serve alongside it. So that's when they started serving the beignets in 1862. But now they're known for the beignets. I mean, they're known for the cafe au lait, but no.
Yeah, it's funny when tourists come here. Sometimes I'll bring people there from out of town, and they'll like ask what else to get there, like other kind of meals. Like you don't get burgers and hot dogs there. You get beignets.
Beignets is the only food on the menu
there's
there.
other kind of drinks and all you can get
Yeah.
there. Yes, but so the classic order is 3 beignets and a cafe au lait. With chicory coffee and milk.
Yes.
Usually I get like the frozen coffee, which is real sweet.
Yeah, that's something fairly recent on their menu too, because it used to just be 2 coffees or water.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And so, you get the glass water, and used to be cash only. So now there's a couple Cafe de Mondes. I go to the one in City Park because it's easier for me to get to in
Yes,
Park.
and that used to be a morning call, which I'll get into in a second.
Yep.
To debate you on.
Get
this
into
thing.
it now.
So-
Get to it now.
No, I love Cafe du Monde's beignets. I do think morning calls are a little bit better. And but morning call, as you said, Cafe du Monde came about in 1862. Morning call came out in 1870, just like a block from
Yeah, much
Cafe
later.
du Monde. Yeah, much later. It's 8 years later. So both of them are from there around the same time. But morning calls beignets, they're a little more light, like the middle's a little more hollow. And what I do like about theirs, at Cafe du Monde, they bring you your beignet and it's covered with sugar.
Yes.
At Morning Call, they give you the sugar shaker, and you don't shake it, you pat it, otherwise it really won't come out well. You hold it upside down, you hit the bottom of it. So you can put as much or as little sugar as you want on there, where I don't usually just use the shaker. I take the top off the shaker and I dump the sugar on there. Yeah, it's just, I mean, I eat so many snowballs. I have to. I don't taste sugar that much
You
anymore.
gotta dry up.
Yeah, so that I like it because it is a little bit lighter. But I'm not saying Cafe Du Monde's bad at all. Yeah.
And that's probably the reason why I prefer Cafe Du Monde, because it comes if you get in a bag of tons of powdered sugar, so it's covered in that. I don't want to do the work. The morning call one, I keep shaking and shaking.
Do the work.
And like a little bit of sugar goes there. It's not, I'm going there to cheat. It's my cheat day. I want sugar dripping off and covering my whole body.
Did you not hear how I put my sugar on my
Well,
beignet?
I didn't know those secret. I didn't know that. I was going through that little hole on top of the cap. And
Yeah, but I will tell you, and if you go to Cafe Du Monde or Morning Call or any beignet place with me, and a lot of New Orleanians do this. If you're wearing black, they will blow the beignets, and you'll have speckled white all over you if you wear black. So do not wear black. They did it to President Obama when he came down here as president. He went to Cafe Du Monde in a New Orleanian, and God bless this New Orleans, I forget who it was, but he's sitting there wearing a black suit, and they blew the powdered sugar on him. It's like, it's just something we do. So, but
yeah, you definitely would get messy with white powdered sugar on your clothes.
Beignets almost made it into my top list. And Jen Hunter Terrell, she said the best beignets are found in the French market, Loretta's. So that's what she was saying.
Do you know that place?
I know Loretta's. I thought it was a praline place or something. I've never, so I might
Let's
have
go.
to check. I might have to check it out. Yeah, so I might
Let's
have
go.
to check that one out.
You
And
and
also
me.
said they have really good sweet potato cookies at Loretta's.
All right. Yeah, like I said, most beignets are good. Sometimes, you see them at Starbucks or PJs. I'm not getting a beignet from them.
No, well, no. Actually, I will tell you this one story. When I lived in Thibodeau for that short amount of time, it was Rallies. Rallies used to have breakfast, and they had these beignets. I'm telling you, they were good. I mean, they're not the best beignets. Best beignets in Thibodeau,
All right.
which isn't hard to do.
You heard it here,
But
Rallies.
They were good. They only did it for a little while, but no, one day I got a bag full of beignets from Rallies.
All right.
So
We got any more sweet tooths?
I'm kind of embarrassed to say
Yeah.
that. Jeez. Well, my number 2 is also a dessert. My dessert for number 2 is creme brulee at Commander's Palace. Now, a lot of people, because I was telling some people about my list, and they're saying, what do you mean? Not the bread pudding souffle, which is also incredible. The bread pudding souffle at Commander's is incredible. And not that I eat at Commander's a lot. I went there once, and it was for a special thing that we were shooting on video, and they brought us all the desserts. So I got to try all the desserts. But I like creme brulee a lot. And this was even better than the creme brulees I had in Paris, which is also a dish from Spain, Paris, creme brulee. So it's what creme brulee is. It's primarily made of rich vanilla-flavored custard base, topped with a layer of caramelized sugar, and that sugar topping sprinkled on top. And then they torch it or they broil it to make it crispy. So you have that sort of gooey underneath, the custard, and then this crispy sugar top on it, and you break it and you eat it together, and just the mixture of all those work really well together. Now, they call it creme brulee because if you called it what creme brulee really means, it would be burnt sugar. So nobody's going to just eat burnt sugar. See, that's my French lesson for the day.
I don't think that's right.
Yeah, creme brulee.
Creme doesn't mean sugar, right?
So I like all creme brulee. Well, I've had bad creme brulee. Some of them taste like flan, which flan's fine, but it's not creme brulee. No. So flan's like an upside down creme brulee, but not even the same consistency. But anyway, reason why I like Commander's the best is because they use most creme brulee comes in a little bowl, and it's a few inches deep and a little bit of that sugar on top. They use a large bowl, large shallow bowl, and as you see in the picture, it's this big piece of sugar on top, and they usually have a fleur-de-lis or something and powdered sugar on top of it, and so you get a lot of that sugar crunchy on top, and it's a lot shallower with the custard. So I just like having more of that sugar on there, the burnt sugar on top. So that's why that's my favorite. Now, I know a few other places have it that way, but I had it at Commander's, and it blew me away. I loved it.
All right. I've only been to Commander's a few times, and I'm not sure if I had that when I was there.
Usually everybody goes for that bread pudding souffle. You've had that?
Don't know.
Don't know?
Bread pudding souffle. I don't think I'd get that either.
Yeah, that's what everybody says is the best dessert over there.
All right.
But I vote for creme brulee. Now we're at your number 2.
My number 2, maybe it's a New Orleans thing. So my favorite restaurant in the New Orleans area, people make fun of me, is Impastado's. Impastado's is an Italian restaurant behind Lakeside Mall on 16th Street. So it's in Metairie. But we go there, my family goes there a lot of times, almost every occasion, anniversaries, birthdays, and we get the Chef Joe's special, where he brings out 5 courses. And all 5 courses are delicious. So why would I not want to go there, keep going there? So the first course, you have options of shrimp au gratin, shrimp scampi, or the crab fingers. And so the crab fingers are my list for number 2.
Yes, and I agree with you. Those are very good because I've only been to Impastados once. And before I went there, I asked you what to order, and you told me exactly what to order. Catherine, my daughter, and I went there to eat. I think Henry might have been with us. I'm not sure. But anyway, so we went to go eat there, and yes, the crab fingers. I had that because upon your, you telling me that it's the best thing to get.
And it's crab fingers, and they're soaking in butter and garlic. So it's going to be good. And then when you're done eating the crab fingers, you dip your bread in the butter and garlic, and it's delicious. And so so that's great. We always get that. We always share things. Second course is like you get red and white pasta. Third course is salad. Fourth course is the entree. Usually I get the shrimp scampi, and I ask for like penne pasta, some particular my pasta. And then the fifth dish is the dessert, which is also delicious. So yes, all of them are delicious. Impastados, check it out.
It is. It's a very good restaurant. I've only been there at one time though, but it was really good. I liked it a lot.
So there you go. And I probably chose the crab fingers, 1 because it is delicious, and 2 because unlike the dessert and some of the pastas, it's more like South Louisiana, right? The crab fingers. So
yes. And it's always fresh because where we are in the world, we can get fresh crab fingers. So it's a good place to get them. Impastados. Not too far from Bucktown.
And so are we on now to number 1 already?
Yes, we're on number 1. And my number 1, a lot of people agree with me. So that's a good thing. As a matter of fact, Dave Martin said there's no debate this is the best one. My brother Tommy said it's the best single bite of food in the city.
Whoa.
Which I've heard a lot of places. Actually, I think that's their slogan now for it. But if you know what the best single bite of food in New Orleans is, it's char-grilled oysters from Drago's. And that was out in Metairie also, not far from Impastados. And I say was, it's still there, but they have more locations now. They have one downtown.
Yep.
So your son actually worked
right
at
there
that one. He
by
works
the
right
Hilton
next
Riverside.
to it. Drago's char-grilled oysters. It's a simple dish. If you're a seafood restaurant in New Orleans, you have char-grilled oysters. Acme has, every place has it. The difference between Drago is he's Croatian, and if you know anything about the oyster industry in Louisiana, there's a lot of Croatians that do the oysters down there, and he gets just the pick of the litter. When it comes to oysters, they're big oysters, they're good. Where a lot of other places that do the char-grilled oysters, especially for tourists, they're not so concerned. They're just getting their oysters, and they're going to cook it the same way that Tommy Satanovich at Drago's cooks it. Good guy too. I remember after Katrina, they set up and they were serving food to everybody outside of Drago's for free. Anybody that was still in the city, because I had to come back in and do some things, and I knew they weren't giving us char-grilled oysters, but but they were giving us food and they were cooking for us. So Drago's, you should just check it out simply to patronize such good people. But anyway, so the oysters are so good at Drago's. Whenever people come in from out of town and they want to go eat somewhere, I bring them to Drago's and we get probably 2 dozen char-grilled oysters, and I do not let them order their entree because all the food at Drago's is really good. But if you order your entree before you taste the oysters, you're going to be disappointed because all you're going to want is more oysters. That's what I tell them, and they're like, yes, that's right. But I've eaten other things at Drago's, and everything's good. I think Tommy Satanovich needs to open another restaurant that doesn't serve char-grilled oysters so people could taste his other food.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you that one time I went there with some friends, I think there was about 5 of us, and we went through 6 dozens of oysters. Actually, they gave us the last one free after we bought 5. They're like, here, thank y'all for coming. And they gave us the sixth dozen for free. And they saw I was there with entertaining people from out of town. So, that was another reason for them to do it. Now, I didn't tell you how they make it. So Drago's char-grilled oysters are shucked fresh, blasted by fire, steam on an open grill, basted with a lot of garlic herb butter, which you can buy different places. Rouse's carries the garlic herb butter now. Dusted with Parmesan cheese and left on the grill till the juices bubble. It's simple, but I can eat a dozen. And for those of you who do not eat oysters or never tried oysters or are afraid of oysters, this should be your first foray into oysters. Because after you eat one of these, then you'll say, okay, maybe I'll try other oysters. Maybe not. You might not like them all. I like raw oysters. There's other oyster dishes I don't like, but I love raw oysters. But oysters done the way Tommy Satanovich at Drago's does is the best.
If you go to the Riverside Hilton, which one of the Drago's restaurants is in kind of the lobby there.
Yes.
You can go to the bar and order a drink from Chance Simoncelli, and you can order Drago's oysters, and they'll send it to the bar.
I've done that.
We've done it together.
Yes, we've done that before.
And I'm curious. I'm not an oyster person, but I'll eat chargrilled oysters. They're delicious. But I don't know. I never tried other. I mean, I tried other restaurants' oysters, but I don't know who's better, who's worse.
Yeah, and same thing with the barbecue shrimp. You want that bread on the side to sop up all that
Exactly,
that
yep.
good greasy stuff. So anyway, so that was my number one.
That's a good number one.
Char-grilled oyster. Once we thought of this, I knew that was my number one.
Yeah.
There was no question.
That could have easily been my top 5, but I like to be different. You know that. So I'm sure my number 1 could be in your top 5 too, right?
It could be.
A shrimp po' boy. You don't love shrimp po' boys?
I do like most shrimp po' boys.
Yeah, and like some are really bad, but
Yes.
the ones at Parkway Tavern, which I picked, they're always delicious, overflowing, fresh.
Big shrimp.
Big shrimp. So I chose the shrimp po' boys from Parkway Bakery and Tavern. Opened in 1911.
And po' boys is one that I didn't put on my list because there's just so many different types of po' boys I like. So many good po' boy places. There are bad po' boy places, but there's so many good po' boy places that I probably couldn't just pick one place. And I do like shrimp po' boys. There's other ones I like better. I like roast beef better than that. But during Mardi Gras, my son Henry was in town, and he went over to Parkway, and he met me on the parade route, and he brought me the surf and turf, which is the best of both worlds. You're getting the roast beef over there. That roast beef po' boy is really good over there too, with the shrimp on top. You know, and it was incredible. I mean, I knew it was going to be incredible. You know, I've had it before, but that surf and turf one over there is really good.
I would never order anything besides a shrimp po' boy. Like oyster po' boy is not as good.
No.
Whatever, catfish po' boy is not as good. I don't like the roast beef po' boy.
I don't like fried oysters.
I almost put the roast beef po' boy in my bottom list because it's just too much meat and it's messy.
Well, not every place puts too much meat, but those are the places I don't like.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, the thing with po' boys is the bread. That's why you can't make po' boys anywhere else in the country, because you need that crispy French bread. Not the French bread that you think from France, because that's a lot more dense than what we eat here. Ours is light and flaky. You know, so the po' boy breads are really important with that. Actually, my favorite shrimp po' boy is at Krabby Jack's. Krabby Jack's is... There's a place, Louisiana Seafood Exchange, which provides fresh seafood to a lot of restaurants, but they have a po' boy shop in the front, and they give you so much shrimp in theirs, and the shrimp is good. But, I mean, other types of po' boys I love also, which isn't far from Krabby Jack's, is the barbecue ham one at Kaz's. You ever been to Kaz's?
No, I haven't.
Yeah. Well, Kaz's is a great place, but I mean, the hot plates and all. So I don't always get the barbecue ham there, but their barbecue ham is really good. So, but I mean, growing up, I went to so many different po' boy places. I could just keep naming them. I mean, I love po' boys.
I couldn't. I don't eat a lot of po' boys, and I don't. Yes. So, but when I go, I like that one. It's like it's a fun thing to eat that. But let me just say also about po' boys. Our friend again, Matt Haynes, who wrote the Big Book of King Cake, he is currently writing the Big Book of Po' Boys.
He's not finished? I thought it was out.
It's going to be out soon, I think.
Okay.
But so he'll tell you the history of it. I'm going to give you a little bit history of it right here, but definitely check the book out. It's a great market there. People love po' boys. So in 1929, the poor boy was created by Benny and Clovis Martin, former streetcar operators, because they came up with it when streetcar drivers and motormen went on strike, picket line. So they came up with these simple sandwiches. They give them away, and people would say, here they come, serving up another poor boy. And so that's where the term poor boy comes from, po' boy. I'm sure Matt Haynes will elaborate on that a little more.
And the way we say everything in New Orleans, we say everything lazy, so that's why it became po' boy and not poor boy, because we just don't like to enunciate everything.
Yeah, but now it's not quite a poor boy sandwich, though. The one at Parkway is a few bucks to come.
No, yeah, well, even the fancy restaurants in New Orleans serve these simple dishes. Like we were just talking about char-grilled oysters, a simple dish where they shunned it for a while. But people coming to New Orleans, they want the char-grilled oysters, they want po' boys. And so even fancy restaurants will have po' boys on their menus.
I'll say this. If you get a shrimp po' boy from somewhere else, make sure it's Gulf shrimp, okay? That's where it starts. That and the bread.
Gulf of Mexico shrimp, not just, I mean, because it
Yes.
could be Gulf of Tonkin or somewhere.
What about Gulf of America? Not Gulf of America shrimp? I don't know. I've always had Gulf of Mexico shrimp.
Yeah, I'm not sure the Gulf of America shrimp is as good as the Gulf of Mexico
might not
shrimp.
be as good, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, my number one, shrimp po' boy, Parkway. Take it.
I can't argue with that. But anyway, so that was our best, but now these are the worst.
These are the worst. These are the worst.
I'll let you go first now to tell us what your worst ones are.
All right. And my worst ones are like iconic New Orleans dishes. Because once again, it's not the worst. It's overrated.
Worst, yeah, and that's what we want to clarify here. If we want the worst dishes, I mean, we'd be going places that nobody ever heard of. So we're picking overrated, or sometimes things we don't like.
Yeah, and so mine overrated because it's, once again, it gets long lines. It's a classic New Orleans thing. It's the muffaletta from Central Grocery. And so located in Decatur Street in New Orleans, French Quarter, this old-fashioned grocery store founded in 1906 is famous for creating the muffaletta. It's not an Italian dish, but it's like immigrants from Sicily, from Italy, who came here and chose the muffaletta bread, and they said, let's just put the meat on there and the olive loaf, all the olive stuff and meats, and they called it muffaletta. I just find it's too bland, too much bread.
Too much bread, I think too. I'd rather that same stuff on a po' boy bread.
Yeah, exactly. Like I've had some good ones on a po' boy bread.
Yes.
But the muffaletta bread sometimes it's just not as good.
And I don't think I'd eat muffalettas if I wasn't from New Orleans. I think it's just I'm from New Orleans, so I eat muffalettas. It's not my first choice, but I mean, if I might split one with somebody. Somebody says, "Oh, let's get a muffaletta," and it's a big sandwich, so you usually don't eat it by yourself. You split it with somebody. But honestly, I agree with you. Central Groceries isn't really close to the best muffaletta. I like DiMartino's, which has a few restaurants around town on the West Bank, Slidell, other places. So I like DiMartino's muffalettas better, but I don't love muffalettas. I just don't.
And I don't usually order one because it's a high risk to reward ratio.
Sure.
Because sometimes they can be good, sometimes they can be bad, and you ruin your meal. So.
Yeah, and if you don't like olives, you're probably not going to like it because the olive salad they put on top, is pretty. There's a lot of it there.
I enjoy the combination of the olive salad and the salami and the ham and the cheese.
But you might as well just make a plate with that stuff.
Exactly.
So make a charcuterie board.
So sorry, Central Grocery.
Not sorry. Okay, so anyway, my number three is also overrated along the same lines as yours. Mine is the Debris po' boy or Debris sandwich at Mother's Restaurant. Oof. I just think Mother's is overrated. Mother's Restaurant is on Poydras. Yeah, it's on Poydras. And close to downtown New Orleans. And there's always a line down there. They're also known for their ham there, too, and a few other things. But there's always a line. So you can just simply walk around the corner to 5 other po' boy shops and get a better roast beef po' boy and not wait in that line. It's just that Mother's it's a tourist. I'm not going to say it's a tourist trap. The food is good there, but it's not that good for me to wait in a line and pay their prices, which are a little bit more expensive, just to say I ate at Mother's.
We ate there together, you and I, recently.
Yes, we did because we had some friends in town. We're going to see a concert.
We went to see John Mellencamp.
Yes.
This might be the only restaurant we listed that we went together.
And the food was actually better than the John Mellencamp concert. So.
No, come on. I think I had the shrimp po' boy there, by the way.
I think I got the Debris. I think I may have gotten the Debris.
You're testing it out. Yeah, you got to do some research.
Yeah, but I've had it before. But there was no line that day, so it was cool to go. So anyway, that was my third worst. What's your second worst?
Overrated. Because my second overrated one, which was on some people's top list, was the turtle soup from Commander's. Commander's Palace is probably the most iconic restaurant in New Orleans, wins the most awards. It's a good restaurant, probably overpriced. But usually they give you an option when you get a meal. You want the turtle soup or the gumbo? Get the gumbo. Sure. In the turtle soup, I guess why I don't like it is they add dry sherry to the ingredient. Yeah. And in my mind, alcohol has never made food taste better. Like you don't add alcohol.
Oh, you never had a rum sauce on bread pudding?
Yeah, have caramel sauce or just the sauce itself. You don't need the rum; doesn't add to it. So yes, I say turtle soup Commanders. I would not order that.
Vodka and a Hanson Snowball is good too. Come on.
Is it as good as your snowball you picked?
No, not at all.
No,
it would have been on my top. I disagree. I do like the turtle soup at Commanders. I think it's the best turtle soup, which in town. And there's a certain day. A long time ago, that same day where I got to eat everything at Commander's, that's when I got to eat the turtle soup. But earlier in that day, I ate at Rue Restaurant on Orleans Avenue in the French Quarter, and I had I may have had turtle soup as a kid, but I don't remember it. So when I ate the one at Rue, and I was there with the chef shooting him, preparing it and all, and I tasted like, wow, this is really good. By the time I went to Commander's and tasted their turtle soup, I was like, that stuff at roux, no, I wouldn't even order it again because Commander's was just so much better than the one they had there. And theirs was good upon my first tasting, but Commander's just blew me away by the end of the night. So and I'll explain the gumbo one in a little bit, but I would not order gumbo there. I'd order the turtle soup.
Okay.
I can't make turtle soup at home.
We agree to disagree. Neither can I.
So
Or
anyway,
gumbo.
yeah. So your number 2 was turtle soup because my number 2 is gumbo. Were you finished with turtle soup? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm finished with mine.
Yes.
Gumbo, what?
Yes, my number 2 is gumbo. And the reason being, and I've always told people this, that if you ask anybody from New Orleans where the best gumbo is, if they don't say their grandma's house, your mama's house, or their house, then you ain't a true New Orleanian. Because gumbo is the food that's best made at home. And everybody has their own recipes or variations on a recipe. I've never made seafood gumbo. It's always chicken and sausage, chicken andouille gumbo. And, even my recipe, I borrowed it from a fireman's recipe that the Frugal Gourmet put in his American cookbook years ago. Jeff Smith's The Frugal Gourmet. And so it was an adaptation because I never follow recipes. I use them to give me guidance. And so that's the one that I made. But since then, my daughter started making gumbo, and she's actually making it from Eric Cook from Gree. Eric Cook actually graduated from here. He graduated John Falls Culinary Institute here at Nichols. But he just recently put out a cookbook. And I like Gree's gumbo, but my daughter following the same recipe, better.
And
Gree's a restaurant on Magazine Street in New Orleans. Yeah, and
some of our out-of-town listeners, you know.
And Eric Cook's the executive chef there. He also has St. John's restaurant also. And I'm not saying his gumbo isn't good, but I'm saying my daughter following his same recipe, and of course I smoke all the meats too, so that might make it different too. And when she makes her gumbo, it's better. I stand by that the best gumbo is at your house or your grandma or your mama's house.
Not me. Not my house. I've never made gumbo in my life.
Oh, well, anyway, but yeah, you just told me the other day that you've never made a roux.
No, I never made a roux
before.
Nope.
And a lot of people haven't made roux before. I've made several roux. My daughter makes roux for freaking macaroni and cheese. But I wanted to share this with you because years ago, I don't know if you were part of this, Randy Sheremy, who's also at John Falls Culinary Institute, we did a few short videos where he showed you how to make roux. And if I can find those videos, I'll put it up on the website. So if you don't know how to make a roux, Randy Sheremy's excellent chef, one of the best I know.
And here at Nichols State University.
Yes. So I'll put that up there on how to make a roux. And it's an old video, but I mean, people are making roux for generations, so it's not like it's a new recipe. It's just an old video.
It's not getting outdated. Nope.
No.
There's no special new ingredient now for roux.
Yeah. So so my second worst is gumbo from a restaurant, even though I have had good gumbos at restaurants. It's just better at home.
All right, that's a cop out, but I allow it. We have a lot of flexibility in our list here. All right, so my overrated.
Yes, or worse, because you don't even like this one. So
this one is not good. Do not order this one. Can you say that?
Well, unless you like the ingredients, but I agree with you. I don't like this one.
Sometimes I have to go to brunch every now and then with my nieces and my sisters, and we go get a brunch for every Christmas season. And we try to go to those classic New Orleans restaurants with the white tablecloth, So we went to Antoine's one time, which is the oldest restaurant in New Orleans. And I like to order their signature dishes, right? See what they're known for, what's unique there. So they had the oysters Rockefeller, created in 1889. Now, I'm not a big fan of oysters to begin with, but let's see what happened. So
they created oysters Rockefeller?
That's what it says.
Okay, no, I didn't know. I was just
That's what
curious.
Wikipedia says. It says
Sure.
It was named after John D. Rockefeller, then the wealthiest American. So for its extreme richness of it.
Yeah, I guess.
But so what it is it's oysters on a half shell, topped with green sauce and breadcrumbs that are baked or broiled. Sometimes the sauce recipe is a secret, but sometimes it includes a puree of green vegetables and maybe even spinach, and it's not tasty. I don't get it.
No, I've never liked it. I mean, I dislike it just like you do. I'm not going to eat it. If they give it to me, I'm not going to eat it.
Yeah, we ordered it for a bunch of us, and we said let's get a couple dozen for us or a dozen for us to share, and we're like,
Sure.
No, let's not. No. So you should like their signature dish, but oysters Rockefeller was not a fan. Yep.
Yeah, so that's we're not even saying it's overrated. We're just saying we don't like it. But I mean, if you like those ingredients, and I'm sure there's people that love it. None of our super fans named it as their favorite, but I'm sure they wouldn't have it if people didn't love it. I would guess.
But Antoine's is not hurting though. They're still big business and they still draw a long line.
No, it's a good restaurant. Just don't like the Oysters Rockefeller.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
so.
all I gotta say about them.
Okay, now we're going to my number one. My number one has several locations all around the French Quarter. And I eaten it once, and I ate it drunk, which usually I like food better when it's drunk, but it was disgusting. It is. I do not like this one, and I do not like their whole concept of what their name came from. This is Willie's Fried Chicken Shack. Willie's Chicken Shack.
Yeah.
You'll find it on Bourbon Street. You'll find it on Frenchman Street, where they took over from Praline Connection. Was there forever, and I liked Praline Connection. It was a great restaurant in New Orleans. And then one day I go down the street and I see Praline Connection's closed, and it's a Willie's Chicken Shack, fast food chicken that serves daiquiris also. And I'm not saying places in New Orleans that serve daiquiris can't serve good food, because there's lots of places that do that. I just don't like theirs. It's greasy. It was nasty, and I felt terrible after eating it. But the biggest reason why I don't like it is because the name, Willie's.
Oh yeah.
Yes, because a lot of tourists come to New Orleans and they'll see some of the best restaurants, and consistently ranked the best fried chicken in the city. I mean, not in the city, in the United States, maybe in the world, is Willie Mae's Scotch House fried chicken. And they burned down their main location. It was their only location at the time. It burned down, and that's when Willie's Fried Chicken had come on scene a little bit earlier. And tourists, they see Willie's Fried Chicken. They're not thinking, they don't know Willie Mae's Fried Chicken. And it says there, Willie's Fried Chicken Shack, world famous, all this stuff, which it wasn't world famous. I never heard of the place before they opened up. But by saying world famous, people are thinking that's the Willie Mae's Fried Chicken. Willie Mae's Fried Chicken, it could have been on my top list. I like it. It's really good, and it's not like any fried chicken you've had before. Their crust, and it's not like Popeyes, which that could make my top list too. I love Popeyes chicken. I love fried chicken. I don't like Willie's fried chicken. I'm a fried chicken connoisseur. I used to go to Chinese restaurants as a kid, and they'd get pissed because I ordered fried chicken. It would take a half hour to cook. I love fried chicken.
How many times have you had Willie's fried chicken?
Just that one time. That one time. But it's the whole concept that they're playing off of Willie Mae's and
Yep.
duping tourists.
Yeah.
And some of the reviews I saw that people were saying, wow, I thought this was supposed to be the best fried chicken, but then I found out that this wasn't the place I was supposed to be going. Now, Willie Mae's Scotch House did open a new location, not in the same place where they burned down. I'm not sure what's going on there, but they opened one in the CBD right across from, on Howard Avenue, I think, right across from Channel 6. We're TV people, so we know Channel 6. But I think that's Howard Avenue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's on, I believe it's on Howard Avenue, and they just opened one in CBD. I haven't been there yet, but it's the same people. Only thing I don't like about Willie Mae's Scotch House is they serve peas with everything. I just don't like peas.
Okay, I like peas.
You can't say, oh, can I have something else besides peas?
Yeah.
It's like, don't do that.
like peas.
But they're world famous. I mean, presidents have eaten there. I remember when I went there with Catherine the first time, we got to sit at the table Obama sat at.
Yeah, say Dookie Chase's in the same area.
Yeah, Dookie Chase is just around the corner from it, which is, I've never been to Dookie Chase. You?
I've been there a couple times.
I really want to go to Dookie Chase. I wish I would have went there when she was still around.
Yep. It's a good place.
But anyway.
Along the idea of like Willie's Fried Chicken copying the Willie Mae's name, it's kind of like going on a French Quarter. You see these cafe beignets.
Yes.
It's kind of same kind of green and white thing.
Yeah.
And there's a long line outside, and it's probably delicious beignets. It's just not the original Cafe du Monde. It's just cafe beignets.
They're just they're playing off of it. So I mean, it's good marketing and all that, but I just don't. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed when somebody thinks that's Willie's the Scotch House chicken when it's not.
I'm opening up a place called Commander's Palace.
Commodore's
Palace with turtle soup.
Commodore
Salad. Yeah, the Commodores.
The Commodores.
We're going to play their music the whole time.
Yeah, and it's going to be a brick house that it's inside, right?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, but anyway, before we get to our super fans, there's one thing I wanted to talk about earlier that I didn't get to. Well, I forgot until just now. But when we talk about New Orleans being the top food city in the world, that encompasses a lot of different types of food. I mean, all our influences are there. With the Spanish, the German, the French, the Irish. Even the Creole. Coming from Central America, all those different things, and a lot of the places blend those together. But this is a funny story. A few years ago, I forget what magazine it was, but they ranked the top barbecue in the United States, and they named New Orleans the #1 barbecue place in the United States, and just reading the comments, people from Memphis and Texas and Kansas City, they were so pissed. And I was thinking at first, I was like, yeah, nobody comes to New Orleans for barbecue. Nobody says, oh, I'm going to New Orleans to get the barbecue. But I thought about it for a second. Barbecue might be like the 10th best food we have in the city. but it could still be better than
It's
all
still
theirs.
good.
It's still better than theirs. You know,
Yeah.
and so that's why we have good barbecue places. We have Central Barbecue. We have Blue Oak. We have
Yeah, Blue Oak's one of the best.
geez, I can't even think of the one. The joint. The joint. That's a really good one too.
Bywater.
Yeah, and the Bywater. So not that I put any barbecue on here, but it just seeing that we were number one, reminds me of that story and those people. And that's what I told those people in the comments. I was like, hey, it may not be what you come to New Orleans food for. It may not be in our top 20 foods. That doesn't mean it's not better than yours. I mean, I don't know if our barbecue's better, and I'm not going to say it's better, but some magazine who obviously knows barbecue said it was. So anyway, we need to get to our super fans.
Super
because our
fans,
super
yes,
fans
thank
have
you for
some good
listening.
ideas also. Yeah, thank y'all.
The best and worst picks from our super fans. The best and worst picks from our super fans.
All right, so our super fans had some good ideas, and we mentioned some of our super fans already, but actually...
Yeah, the first one is Stephanie Maurer, who's actually my cousin, who said my dad's soup is her favorite.
your dad or her dad?
My dad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I don't know what my dad made for her to ask you. My dad's a loyal listener to this podcast, everything we do. But yeah, so that's her pick.
But your dad's never made soup for you?
Well, she lives in Florida, so maybe she came in and he made something for her. I don't know. He makes Italian, maybe he made minestrone. I don't know.
Has he ever made minestrone for you?
Yeah.
Okay, and was it good?
I mean, it's all right.
It's all right.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, I need your dad to make me some minestrone. I need to taste that
All right.
soup. All right. Was it Wednesdays you go over there?
Yes.
So I'll come over next one. Well, 2 Wednesdays
All
from
right.
now. Okay. And these are some people from my family that said something. My sister-in-law, Jennifer Jester Arnold, she said the chili cheese omelet from Camellia Grill. I love Camellia Grill. I eat and I like their little frosty drinks they have there, and it's a good breakfast place uptown. So I've never had the chili cheese omelet. I usually get the it's the one with the corned beef. It's like a corned beef hash omelet. That's one I usually get there. It's good. But anyway, she likes the chili cheese omelet from Camellia Grill. My brother Tommy, he likes the Turtle Soup from Commanders also. I should have said that earlier when I talked about it. And he likes the roast beef po' boy from Chateau Orleans.
so both of his are like in my bottom 5. So
Yeah, and Chateau Orleans it's not far from my house. My daughter orders from there all the time, but they do have a good roast. It's really sloppy, so you wouldn't like it.
is Tommy the one who made the king cake boudin?
No, that was Jeffrey.
All right.
I got 4 brothers.
That was good.
He was the one that
I
owned
know.
it. He was the one that owned and ran a Mexican restaurant. So
Yeah, I don't know which one made the king cake, but
Yeah,
it's
no,
good.
that was Jeffrey. Christina Barry. Well, Christina Barry Wood. She's a former student, so we knew her as Christina Barry. She said, "Bomb me, boys. K-Town fries." I've never had it,
don't
never
know.
heard of it. I told her, I was like, I want to try it. I do. I want to try that one. Jason Scott Ladd said, "Bocado's Gelato."
And I love Angelo Bricado. I
Yes.
love going there just for the experience. They have all kind of desserts, little cookies and that.
And that one is worth the line because there's usually a line for that one too.
Yep.
That one is worth the line.
When I go there, I like to get the affogato, which is gelato inside of espresso. So you get a little coffee with a little gelato inside. Delicious.
I always try something different, but I always get a box of little cannolis. And I
Yep.
bring home the cannolis so I can have some on the way home or bring it back home
They
to
make
the
them
family.
there in front of you.
They do. They fill it right there in front. It's nice. It's a good place. And that's on Carrollton.
Yep. I would go more often, but there's also nowhere to park and there's a long line.
Yeah, there's not much parking. Like there is a long line, but it's worth the line.
Yep,
If you can
it
find
is.
a park around the corner in Walgreens. They have a really big parking lot, and you only have to walk like a half a block to get there.
Is that legal? You can do that?
Yes, it's legal.
All right.
Tell them Andy said it was.
No.
So anyway, Allison Arthurs, she said the Po' Boys LA uses, Parkway Bakery, or Come Back In. I've been to Come Back In also. I mean, they're good. Like I said, that's why I didn't pick Po' Boys because there's so many good places. Anything at Vincent's, which I've been to Vincent's a few
Me
times.
too. Good red sauce place.
So you like Vincent's? You like the other one better than
Impastados?
Vincent's? Yeah.
Just
better
because
than
of the
Vincent's?
5-course thing, you know?
Okay.
Vincent's is great. You get a 1-dish meal, spaghetti and meatballs, lasagna, but
Yes. And I guess Allison's Italian because Liuzza's Vincent's and pizza at Theo's or Venezia.
all right. Good
Yeah.
pizza.
It's good
If
pizza.
I'm going to pick pizza, I'm going to say Mid-City Pizza. That's my go-to place.
Really? I don't think I have a favorite pizza in the city. I mean, I like a lot of different, but Mid-City is a good one.
Try Mid-City, yeah.
I've been there. I mean, I even like New York pizza, Uptown. That's a good one, too.
Yep.
So, Carl Redondo, who's obviously being mentioned at all of our shows. Hope you're listening out there. Tacos at the Rum House.
That's a popular place.
Have we
Taco
been-
Tuesdays.
Did we go there before together?
No,
No,
that's,
I've been
they're
there
on
Taco
Magazine
Tuesday.
Street, yeah.
Yeah, I've been there on Taco Tuesday, and they have a bunch of different types of tacos there, so it's hard to just pick one taco. I haven't tried them all yet.
Big variety, yeah.
Yeah, but they are good, and go there on Tuesday because they're cheaper. Taco Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
So Jason Jason Ladd said best gumbo, Mr. B's. You know, I think about gumbo already, but I'm sure it's good at Mr. B's, one of the Brennan's restaurants. And steak at Cape Hall's. You can't get that one no more.
Can't you?
No, Cape Hall's been shut down for a little bit now. So I've never had the steak there. Jen Hunter Terrell said, go to Couchon Butcher on Chapatulas and the best beignets, Café du Monde. Where we went through that one. Leo DeRocher said, steak sandwich at Crazy Johnny's. And the reason why he said that, because Crazy Johnny's just reopened.
Really?
Yeah, Crazy Johnny's in Fat City in Metairie, and I've been there. They have good steaks at Crazy Johnny's, but they've been shut down for quite a while, and they just reopened, I think, a few weeks ago. Actually, Leo was there and sent me pictures. When he was eating there. Dragos, you agree with me. Sushi at Sushi Shukaban. I don't know that. Thanksgiving po' boy at Parkway.
All right.
I never had their Thanksgiving po' boy, but that's my favorite part of Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving dinner's fine, but the next day eating that Thanksgiving sandwich, and I assume that po' boy is going to have the dressing on there, the turkey, the gravy, the cranberry sauce. So yeah, that's one of my favorite sandwiches ever. Crawfish bread at Jazz Fest. That's another one I always get at Jazz Fest. And as you said earlier, crawfish Monica. People love that crawfish Monica.
Yeah, I've had that at Jazz Fest.
It's
like,
okay.
All right. It's too much sauce.
Yeah, and one more super fan, Kelly Healy Shalang. She likes the beef debris and garlic mashed potatoes from Cape Hall's, which you can't get no more. And I was talking to her just 2 nights ago, and I was saying, I've never been to Cape Hall's. Why are you going to do that to me?
Yeah.
The combo plate from Patton's at Jazz Fest, which I described earlier, and she was with me at French Quarter Fest where we split that. Crab meat topped hummus at Saba. I've never had that.
I know. I haven't hummus at Saba before.
Hummus is good. I like Saba, but she's going to have to take me there. Shrimp or crawfish goat cheese crepes from Muriel's. And actually, Muriel's used to have a booth set up at French Quarter Fest, and we went to go look for it, but they don't do it anymore. And barbecue oysters from the Redfish Grill, which is in the French Quarter. So that's what our super fans had to say.
Well, thank you, fans, for following along on social media and listening to our podcast.
Oh, I was supposed to say the date. Today's April 17th, 2025. I'm supposed to do that at the beginning of the podcast, but I didn't do it. Well, the reason being because this is part of the class, and that's one of the things I have to mark off on theirs.
And make it at the end when they listen to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Just edit it. Can't you edit it?
Well, I can. And students are going to listen to this. They're supposed to be rating mine now and giving me feedback, so I know they're going to say something about the date. So I had to throw that in there.
No, but you did it on purpose. See, they listen to it. See, they actually listen to your podcast.
Yeah, so if they say you didn't say the date, and I was like, you didn't listen all the way through.
You should say a code word right now, so they got to email you the code word.
They're getting graded on their evaluation of our podcast.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
They grade me too? I get a grade.
Yeah, they get a yeah. Well, no, yeah. I give the grade.
Okay. In that case, how about next week we do Prince songs, so I could really
let's do our best obscure Prince songs, B-sides.
B-sides of Prince songs.
Yes. I mean, I could do it.
I know, but they'd probably overlap, though, so many.
Yeah. So, but anyway, once again, we'll let you know what our next topic is. We're going on spring break next week, but we're going to try to get one in.
We'll try to fit one in,
We're going to work on it, and hopefully we can get one in during spring break for you. If not, thanks for listening, and pay attention to our social medias and check out our website. So, thank y'all.
Thanks.
That's it for this week. The top and bottom list by Lance and Andy. Full episodes here on Spotify. Thank you, like and subscribe. Please check out our website